You're listening to The Manning Report with your host, James David Manning. The news behind the headlines.
So I said that I'm announcing my bid to be president of the birthers. I want to rekindle the birther movement. I don't know if there's any birthers left out there. I don't know if there are. And again, just the pure logic of this, which leaves me with, there are times. This morning I put on a shirt that had some stains on it. In the early part of my broadcast, I do several broadcasts here, and I didn't realize it getting dressed in a darker room that the shirt had stains on it. But when I came down here under the camera lights, these lights expose everything, and we were able to see the stains, but it was too late for me to change because I was 30 seconds away from on-air time. But I said, well, the Lord will have it as it is. Let that be the will of God. And I went ahead and I did the broadcast with the stained shirt. Not this one, but another one. And be that as it may. And I have been separated from the birthers. I have been separated from the Tea Party people. Some of the separations were painful. Some of the separations were easy. But all of the separations were disappointing. Disappointing on this wise, disappointing on item number one, that the same thing that they persecuted and that brought them to me, I didn't come to them, but that brought them to me about Obama being illegitimate, Trump is guilty of the exact same thing. Saying that Obama was legitimate so he could win the president. Obama said he was legitimate so he could win the president. Trump is guilty of the exact same thing, number one. But they excused Trump. They let Trump be a saint for doing the same thing they called Obama a devil for. That was very disappointing in humanity and the birthers, that they did that. And they did it without even thinking about it. They just instantly did it. But the second thing about the birther movement and the Tea Party movement is that those that declared that Obama was an illegal president, and in many cases, like all it takes, filed motions in Georgia and in the courts of Georgia and California that Obama was an illegal president. By very fact, if that's what they believed and he was illegal, then you cannot put a person in office until the illegality of Obama is completely exposed and purged from our political process, and an election held to replace Obama, to purge that. So logically, Tribulation Trump, whether he had Tribulation could be a saint, but he can't be president if Obama's presidency was illegal. And that's why Tribulation Trump himself, who was the president of the birthers, I'm running now to replace Tribulation Trump was the president of the birthers. I'm now running, he ran, Tribulation Trump left the office of president of the birthers to become president of the United States of America. And I'm now running to replace Trump as the president of the birthers. But Tribulation Trump he exonerated Obama because even Tribulation Trump, as a degenerate as he is, he knew that until the presidency, the illegal presidency of Obama was annulled, legally expunged, that nobody could become president of America until that matter was taken care of. So at that time, Trump called all the birthers together and said, let's just say that Obama was illegal. So because unless we say that, I can't sit in the Oval Office declaring that the man who sat before me was illegal, and that will make me illegal as well. And they said, yes, we'll do it. Which means that in effect, even though it was horrific that Obama, born in Kenya, half white, half baked, half man, black man, white man, would say that he was legit, that he was born in America to become president, but it is a million times more a scream that the birthers would also now say the same thing that Obama said. Because when they say that Obama's legit, Obama said he's legit, though his birth certificate that was presented back in 2010 was a forged instrument, it was a doctored instrument, it had misinformation on it through and through, and yet the birthers are now saying that that document is a legal document. I mean, all it takes, who was a lawyer and a dentist, all it takes is now saying that that forged instrument that Barack Hussein Obama presented is a legal instrument. That she is a lawyer. I've spent a lot of time with Orly, but she is saying that this forged instrument is now a legal instrument. Can you believe that? Can you believe that these birthers are now declaring that that illegal forged document with different typesets, they're now saying it is a legal document, that Obama was legal, that it was born in a hospital that had no name? I mean, it's almost unbelievable that Satan could have taken such charge of these persons. But me, I remain a birther. Obama was an illegal president. And parenthetically, let me say, it cost a lot of people their opportunity for me to minister and be their pastor. I was about to say it cost me my ministry, because nearly 3/4 of the church left, and then all of the black community, or the African American or Negro or colored community, all of the African American black people despised me for more than 10 years. All of the continent of Africa despised me for being against a native-born son, Obama. And all of the Caribbean despised me for being against their emperor, Obama. So I was a despised man. I was really a man without a country. Recently, many of these persons who heard me speak about Obama and hated me for such, gave death threats for such, traumatized me and the church for such, are now beginning to return one by one and saying, Pastor, you were right and we were wrong. And I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I pray that many others would return now, because they realize that Obama did nothing for them. I listened to the man's campaign speech for 2 years, and I listened intently. And I never heard him say anything that would uplift, that would be for the uplift, or address the major social issues of the black man in America. What I did say is that he's going to instill a foolish pride in young black men, and you're going to have Michael Browns and Trayvon Martins all over the place, and we did. You notice that that kind of event has slowed down a bit, because the superficial recognition of achievement that Obama presented is no longer a fact. And people are now saying, Pastor Manning, you were right. We lost more than half of the membership of our church. And with the entire black community being against me, there was no place to evangelize to fill the pews. Now, a large number of Japheth people filled the gap. They came in, they filled the pews in place of the so-called black man, who is a Hamite and Canaanite. But once I began to speak out against Tribulation Trump, every last one of them have gone. And once I began to point out the unprecedented hypocrisy of people like Orly Tates, who are now saying that the birth certificate that Obama presented is legal, that he was legal all along, I would think that all these birthers ought to apologize to Obama. I think they ought to apologize to America for putting America through these 8 years of persecution of the president. They ought to apologize. If they're saying that they were wrong and Obama is legit, they ought to apologize, unless they just want to have it both ways, which is possible as well. They just want to be outright liars, because they want to support another outright con man liar, pathological liar, Tribulation Trump. We don't know. But I think we have a good idea. Finally, let me wrap up by saying this, that if Hillary Clinton, now listen to this very carefully because it's very important, and this is what God said to me. This is what the Lord said to me. I said, this is what the Lord, his name is Jesus, said to me. Now, you don't have to believe me. You can call me a crackpot. You can call me what you want. Just don't call me late for supper. You don't have to believe me. But I'll tell you that God said that Hillary Clinton was the president during the days of Obama and should have been president for 8 years. Now, that's what God said to me. That's what God said to me. You don't have to believe me. You can call me a liar, a crackpot. You can call me a coon out of Harlem. Just don't call me late for supper. I can deal with all of it. But I'm telling you, this is my Bible. This is my holy Bible. My hand on the Bible. God said to me that legitimate president was Hillary Clinton. And not that God favors her. Not that God says she would have been a wonderful person. Not that God says her life is clean. He didn't say that. He just said the order next was Hillary Clinton. And Obama stole it being illegitimate. And guess what? She comes back again for a second go around with Tribulation Trump, and he steals it with the help of Russia. Obama steals it with the help of Kenya. Obama steals it with the help of the liberal media, with the George Soroses of the world, with all the Democrats, with the racial hatred. Obama steals the presidency. And then Tribulation Trump comes along and steals it with the help of Russia. So I am running to replace Donald Trump, who was once the president of the birthers. I'm now running to replace him as the president. My name is James David Manning. Vote for me and I'll set you free. I'm also the Lord's servant.